Hey y'all, it's Kareem Monet. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today's video, it's gonna be like a very serious one. So 3 years ago, if you've been subscribed to me for that long, I did a video about my sexual assault, and I mentioned that that was the first time something like that happened to me. I said I was going to tell it when I'm ready. It was a lot harder for me to talk about. I still haven't really told many people about this except for the people that I had to tell. So this would really be the first time I'm telling this story. If you hear my son, you hear my son. I'm not gonna cry in this video. I am not gonna cry. If I do, I'm cutting it. I'm not doing it this time. This happened when I was from ages 11 to 12, 13-ish. My parents separated when I was in like fourth grade. Well, divorced really when I was in about fourth grade. And my mom had met this guy. She was dating him. We went and stayed with him. My dad was at, our house. I was in about fifth grade when we actually went to stay with him. And, everything was okay. But I noticed my brother William didn't really like him like that, and normally when he doesn't like someone, he's always right. But my mom didn't really pay attention to that, for real. She still doesn't, but that's neither here nor there. It was just something off about him. He 15 years older than me and just a few years younger than my mom. He's from the Virgin Islands. We're just gonna call him, I can't even call him by his nickname. We're just gonna call him Les. Les started dating my mom, and they quickly started to get serious. We stayed there when I was around fifth grade, and they got married when I was in sixth grade. Now, at first wasn't really like doing anything from my memory, from my knowledge. He would just say things like, one time he told my mom that he didn't want me wearing tank tops because he didn't want boys looking at me, right? I'm not new to boys and even men looking at me as a child. I've had a lot of men and boys look at me before, but the whole tank top thing, and it's like, bro, it's 90 degrees outside. Like, come on. His stuff that he would say about me was like kind of sketchy in my opinion. So yeah, he didn't really want me like wearing tank tops and things like that outside the house, like specifically outside the house. Fast forward to like I'm in sixth grade, we move. Since they're married, we move into a new house. I would very often like fall asleep with my TV on, and so my mom did tell me later on that she would see him go into my room, but he would always say that he was just turning my TV off, which he did, but he didn't mention what he was doing before he turned my TV off. He would come into my room and he would do this to my shirt and like look down my shirt, and I don't know how to explain like what kind of sleeper I am. I'm a heavy sleeper, but then I'm not. Like, I'm a very heavy sleeper, but sometimes little things will wake me up. I don't know if that makes sense. Like now my baby can wake me up, or like just someone obviously like touching me or whatever, like nudging me, I'll probably wake up. If I hear like noise, I won't wake up. It's weird. So I would always wake up to him like tugging on my shirt to look down my shirt. So he would do that, and I never said anything to my mom about it. I was about, how old are you in like sixth grade? Like I was about 11 or 10. I have a late birthday. I don't know. 10 or 11. I have a late birthday. So fast forward a little bit. He was doing a little shirt thing, but one day we were all of us. We were in the living room. I don't even remember like why we were in there. We had a fireplace, so we had the fireplace going, and everybody fell asleep. I was on my way to sleep. He didn't fall asleep though. We had something on the TV playing. He wasn't asleep though, and I was on my way to falling asleep, like almost half asleep. I remember feeling, because I'm laying on the floor like next to the couch, and I remember hearing and feeling like the couch, like, you know, like do a little, not a shuffle, but you know. And then next thing I know, I feel like this kind of motion like on my butt, and I'm thinking like maybe it's my brothers, like they're moving. I really didn't want it to be him. Like I didn't want it to be him. I was like, maybe it's just one of my brothers moving. And so I squint my eyes because I don't want to make it look like I'm awake. I squint my eyes and it was him. So I still didn't say anything. So that was the only time that I could remember him actually physically touching me. A lot of the time it was just him just like looking down my shirt. And I remember he was doing that from 6th to 8th grade. The very last time that I can remember him doing it was the time that I actually told my mom about. It was the day before 8th grade, and my old best friend had just like left my house. She was spending like a few days over at my house. And then when she finally left, I was sleeping in the den. I had fell asleep down there. By this time, we're in a totally different house. We had moved into like this real big house, so we now have a den. And I fell asleep down there, and it was around like sunrise time. I can't really tell like what time it was, but he came downstairs. I guess he had went to my room first, I don't know, and realized I wasn't there. I don't think my mom even knew I was downstairs, but he came downstairs to the den, and I was facing like the back of the couch, and the shirt that I had on, this is actually the shirt I had on. Hold on. And this is how you know this is old, like this is wet seal, like this is the shirt I had on. And I was laying facing the back of the couch. The TV was still on behind me. I even remember it was SpongeBob playing, and I don't even watch SpongeBob, but SpongeBob was playing, and he came downstairs and he peeked, like he reached over me and pulled my shirt and looked down my shirt again. And this time when I caught him, I had looked up at him. Every single time he would snatch his hand away and act like he's watching TV. Like I don't know what I'm looking at, what I just seen. So I wait for him to leave. I fall back asleep. I let some, like a couple months go by. I still didn't tell my mom, and to this day, I couldn't really tell you why I didn't tell my mom. I still don't know why I didn't tell my mom. One day he really made me mad. I don't even remember what he did. I was just that upset. And I'm sitting on the steps and I'm thinking to myself, I'm really about to tell my mom right now. So I got up, went into the den where my mom was, and he was upstairs in their room. And I told her about that one incident. And she immediately gets up and she goes upstairs, takes me with her to the room, tells him what I said, and he denies everything. And I'm literally sitting there crying. I'm sitting there crying. He's denying every single thing. My mom asked me, she's like, are you telling the truth? I said, yes. Like, I would not lie. I would never lie about something like that. I don't even remember what else happened after that, like that night. Like, I just went into my room for the rest of the night. I wake up and my mom's at work. It's just me, my brothers, my 3 brothers at the time, and him still there. And he made breakfast, and I come downstairs. First of all, I was upset because he was still in the house. And I felt like, oh, and I didn't say this at the beginning, I completely forgive everybody that I need to forgive. So please don't come at my mom. But in the moment, I felt like, and I still feel like this, I felt like my mom should have put him out and not left me there with him. But she didn't. He was still there. He made breakfast. I went downstairs and I was about to eat, and he literally took the leftovers that was there. Like, it was mad leftovers and he threw it in the trash. I get upset and I grab the house phone. I try to call my grandma. He snatched the phone from me and took the batteries out. So I went upstairs and you know that knot in your throat. Whew. Okay, I went upstairs and I took a pair of scissors and I was about to cut up his Navy uniform because he was in the Navy. But as soon as I'm like literally like I'm like this about to cut and he comes out of nowhere and snatches the scissors out my hand. So then I go and I pack up a few things. So I felt like my mom betrayed me. I thought I was healed enough to tell this story. I felt like my mom betrayed me and I didn't want to be in the house with him no more. So I told my brothers, I was like, that I love them and I'm gonna leave. And so I walk out the door. I realize he locks the door behind me. He closed the door and he locks the door behind me. So I'm just outside and nowhere to fucking go. I didn't have my phone at the time. So I couldn't call nobody. I couldn't call my dad. Couldn't call nobody. He finally lets me back in the house because I'm like, you know, like when you're a kid and you're like, I'm about to run away. Like I just turned back around. And he finally let me back in the house after I'm like literally screaming and banging on the door. And apparently my mom, the only reason he had let me back inside is because he had called my mom and told her that I walked out. He told her that he locked the door on me and my mom cussed him out, told him to let me back in the house. That's the only reason he let me back in. Fast forward a few days, I'm at school and they call me to the office and it's, I can't remember if it's like, if they were like, it was two ladies. I can't remember if it was like CPS or like detectives for, you know, CPS. I don't necessarily remember who exactly they were, but I know it had to do something with CPS. And they were asking me questions and things. And by this time I had told my dad, I had told my best friend, and I had never told her before either. Brothers knew about it, you know, just like the people, you know, close to me. And when I tell you nobody believed a single thing, and I literally told them exactly what happened the same exact way. My story never changed up, but for whatever reason, my old best friend, she said that he actually put his hand down my shirt and he didn't do that. I don't know what my mom had told them, but it was stuff that I didn't tell them. It made me look like a liar by the time CPS had talked to me, because they said, well, the stories are different every time you tell it. I'm like, no, it's literally not. It's the same thing I'm telling everybody. And the only person that believed me was my dad and my brother William. Everybody else, it was like, they were like, why would Karima lie about that? Why would her dad put that in her head? And this is like my blood family. And I never lied to them about anything like this ever before. And I felt like they were choosing this man over me and wasn't trying to protect me at all. And they were still like talking to him, being friendly with him. And I felt like the only person that was really trying to have my back and making known that he had my back was my dad, because the CPS people were like, your dad sent us here to talk to you. But even when they told him that they thought I was lying, he still believed me. So yeah, they talked to me in my school. They actually talked to me twice, like different times. And they ended up giving him a lie detector test. I don't know what they asked him, because like they said, they thought that I was changing my story up. So I don't even know like what kind of questions they asked him, like but he somehow passed. And I started doing some research and I found out that some lie detector tests aren't always accurate. I don't know if that's still the case now, but then that was the case. I don't know if they asked him like well, when you looked down her shirt, did you put your hand down? Because he didn't. So if he said no, you know what I mean? Like he was telling the truth if they asked him something like that. So I don't even know what they asked him. When he passed, my family called me a liar. His family called me a whore. I'm literally 13 years old, still a virgin, still hadn't had my first kiss yet. All that stuff, and they're calling me all these names. So finally, he actually gets deployed like a little bit after that. And next thing I know, him and my mom are divorcing. Never saw him again after that, after him being deployed. To this day, it doesn't get talked about. I haven't gotten an apology from my family. My old best friend even told me to my face that she thought I was lying. Never, I don't really talk about it now. And I thought I was healed enough to tell this story. But I mean, hey, just like last time, I just want to talk more about my life because maybe I can help someone else, because my last video I helped a lot of people and I feel good about that. I hope I can help some people, especially some young girls, with this one. And just know that it is never your fault. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. It doesn't matter anything. You're still a child. The adult knows better. And if you don't have anyone in your corner, I'm so sorry. I'm just sorry if you don't have anyone in your corner. But these are the reasons why today I'm not a very like touchy-feely type person, and I just really like my space. I don't really know how to explain that to people without having to tell these stories. That's basically what happened in like a nutshell, like a summary without really getting into too many details. But yeah, I hope this video helps anyone, and I will see you guys in the next one. It will definitely be lighthearted. But bye.